Blake Lively is finally exposing Justin Baldoni. This could be bad.
Blake Lively accuses Justin Baldoni of weight-shaming her on the set of It Ends With Us. The allegation is made in a legal complaint filed by Blake against her former co-star and director on the film.
Blake Lively is back in the news, and this time it's something super serious, guys. She's sending out a lawsuit to Justin Baldoni, and it feels like it's straight out of a movie.
She just broke into my building.
I have a really nice view.
I do.
Blake Lively is accusing Justin Baldoni of launching a PR scheme against her and is roping Hailey Bieber into this mess too, citing her as an inspiration in her lawsuit against Justin Baldoni. Blake's suing Justin over some wild allegations and for allegedly fostering a weird work environment on the set of their movie It Ends With Us.
Blake says Justin routinely body-shamed her, including a particular instance.
If any of you know the story of that movie too, this is way too ironic. Justin co-starred and directed in the movie with Blake and has, of course, denied the allegations vehemently. Blake's team say that some text messages included as part of the legal filing of the whole thing reveal a multi-tiered plan that Mr. Baldoni and his team described as some sort of social molding designed to destroy Miss Lively's reputation, which they say began after she raised concerns about conditions on set. Rumors were already swirling overhead about a rift forming between Blake and Justin during their press run in the summer of 2024 after the attentive fans noticed how cold they were to each other on the red carpet. Now Blake is showing us that sometime before August 2nd, Justin hired Melissa Nathan. Basically, she's a management expert whose previous clients included Johnny Depp. He hired her as part of a PR team that also contained the publicist Jennifer Abel. In Blake's lawsuit, Blake included an alleged text that Justin sent to Jennifer Abel, which was a screenshot of a thread on X or Twitter about the rumors that were spreading about Hailey Bieber early in 2024, along with the message, "This is what we would need." It's worth noting up front, Hailey Bieber had nothing to do with the alleged smear campaign against Blake. Her name just happens to pop up in Justin's messages as a point of inspiration. That's where things take a darker turn. According to Blake's lawsuit, her suspicions about Justin started long before the cameras started rolling. She claims she was wary of him from day one, and the two clashed over Justin trying to add gratuitous scenes to It Ends With Us. I'm sure you can guess what the nature of these scenes were. The tension only escalated on set, culminating in an HR showdown where Blake laid down her boundaries. Conditions had to be met, including the addition of an intimacy coordinator before she'd even consider returning to work after the writer's strike. But apparently, Justin had other plans brewing. Sometime before August 2nd, he brought in the management heavyweight Melissa, famous for handling Johnny Depp's PR storms, to help manage things, along with the publicist we talked about earlier too, Jennifer. If Blake's legal team is to be believed, this wasn't them trying to control the fallout, it was an outright takedown strategy. The messages allegedly exchanged between Melissa and Jennifer read more like dialogue from a soap opera than professional correspondence. In one alleged text, Melissa brags about her ability to bury anyone, replying to Jennifer's comment that Justin wanted Blake to feel like she could be buried. Melissa wrote, "But you know, when we send over documents, we can't send over the work we will or could do because that could get us in a lot of trouble." And look where they are now. And if you thought that was chilling, it gets worse. Melissa allegedly joked about sending Jennifer a present with the follow-up, "Don't worry, I didn't remove her and send her in a box to your house." Jennifer's response, a casual, "Dang it," in all caps. Seriously, who jokes about that? It wasn't all talk either. In another exchange, Jennifer reportedly admitted to having thoughts about planting negative stories about Blake being not that great to work with. At first, fans assumed the feud between Blake and Justin was about creative differences. Justin wanted the film to focus on the heavy themes of the main subject of the original book, while Blake thought it should strike a more hopeful tone. But Blake's lawsuit suggests that the issues ran far deeper. The backlash against Blake during the press tour, where she was called out for her tone-deaf interviews that glossed over the film's themes, might not have been entirely organic. Justin's messages show he was more than ready to use the criticism to his advantage. "What is the TikTok strategy?" he allegedly asked his team. "I'd like you guys to start posting me only talking about the theme and why this movie is so important." Meanwhile, more wild accusations about Justin's on-set behavior began trickling into the press, and let's just say, they're not pretty. Blake didn't hold back in her lawsuit, and the claims about Justin's behavior are jaw-dropping. She alleged that he barged into her trailer uninvited on more than one occasion while she was either getting changed or feeding her baby. He's also accused of making certain comments about her size and lingering a little too long during scenes where they were smooching. Oh, and there's the claim that he showed her a wild video of his wife. Yes, you heard that correctly. A January meeting between Blake, Justin, and studio reps were supposed to fix things, with changes like hiring an intimacy coordinator being put into place. But according to Blake, she was already done. Behind the scenes, Justin's PR team was reportedly in overdrive, working to protect his reputation while smearing Blake's. A media strategy document included in the lawsuit allegedly outlines plans to discredit Blake by pointing out her less than favorable reputation in the industry. It even accused her of creating an imbalance of power by involving her husband, Ryan Reynolds. Speaking of Ryan, Justin's team allegedly saw him as another way to turn the narrative against Blake. In one alleged message, Justin floated the idea of flipping the script after a leak about Ryan calling the film's original script a disaster. My partner asked about flipping the narrative from this leak this AM, which I can only assume AM means this morning in studio speak. I don't know. Justin reportedly wrote that, suggesting they could use Ryan's comments to target Blake. If you thought things couldn't get any messier than they already are, think again. According to the document, some crew members reportedly lost their jobs because of Blake's insistence on taking creative control of It Ends With Us, and Justin wasn't having any of it. Through his lawyer, Brian Friedman, Justin came out swinging with a fiery statement refuting the claims in Blake's lawsuit. It is shameful that Miss Lively and her representatives would make such serious and categorically false accusations, Friedman said. Calling the lawsuit a desperate attempt to fix her negative reputation, he also pointed out that Blake's interviews and press appearances during the film's campaign were all public and unedited, essentially saying the backlash she received was her own doing. Okay, that does kind of make sense, but wait, there's more. Friedman also revealed that Wayfarer Studios had brought on a management expert well before the movie's marketing began. Why? Because Blake allegedly made multiple demands and pointed comments during production, including refusing to show up on set or promote the film unless her conditions were met. According to Friedman, this ultimately led to the film's demise during release. It gets even juicier. Friedman claimed that Blake hired her own PR powerhouse, Leslie Sloan from Vision PR, who also represents her husband, Ryan Reynolds, to plant negative and completely fabricated stories about Justin and Wayfarer Studios. This, he said, was another reason the studio decided to hire a team of their own, preparing for the storm Blake might unleash. However, Friedman was quick to emphasize that Wayfarer Studios never went on the offensive. The representatives of Wayfarer Studios still did nothing proactive nor retaliated, he said, claiming the studio only responded to media inquiries to ensure balanced and factual reporting. He also took aim at the evidence included in Blake's lawsuit, calling it cherry-picked and lacking proof of any proactive moves by Justin's team. Instead, Friedman brushed it off as nothing more than internal scenario planning, which he said is standard in the PR world. Blake, of course, isn't staying quiet. In response to Friedman's fiery statement, she denied planting any negative stories about Justin or his studio. I hope that my legal action helps pull back the curtain on these retaliatory tactics, she said, making it clear that her lawsuit is about more than just personal vindication. This isn't just about me, it's about protecting others who may be targeted. Blake's not just defending her own reputation here, she's positioning herself as a whistleblower, calling out what she describes as a weird system of retaliation against anyone who dares to speak up. Blake Lively has ended Justin Baldoni's career and he is going down in flames. Nothing could have prepared me for this news, because who would have guessed, really? This was not on my bingo card for December 2024. Blake Lively's complaint about Justin Baldoni has set Hollywood ablaze and it's ending careers. In a move that really shows the seriousness of her allegations, Justin has been unceremoniously dropped by his talent agency, WME. The decision comes on the heels of Blake's accusations, which paint a damning picture of her It Ends With Us co-star's behavior on set. If the fallout so far is anything to go by, Blake's legal and public stance is sending shockwaves through the industry, forcing everyone to sit up and take notice. According to Blake's complaint, Justin's behavior on set was nothing short of odd. She alleges that he repeatedly crossed professional boundaries in ways that left her feeling uncomfortable and disrespected. Among her most serious claims are accusations that Justin improvised intimate scenes without her consent, pushing the envelope with unnecessary content. Blake says it reflects a troubling pattern of disregard for professional standards, but the alleged misconduct didn't stop there. Blake also accuses Justin of making out-of-line comments on set, a claim that has further fueled public outrage. Perhaps most shockingly, she says Justin entered her trailer uninvited while she was getting dressed. According to Blake, these weren't isolated incidents, but rather part of an ongoing issue that made her working environment intolerable. Justin's own words, specifically about his struggles with adult media and past experiences, have also come under scrutiny. Blake alleges that he openly discussed these topics in front of her and others on set, creating an atmosphere that was anything but professional. While some have tried to defend Justin's previous vulnerability about these subjects, Blake's claims cast them in an entirely new light, making them feel less like moments of introspection and more like red flags. I mean, look at the science. People who are into adult media early on just have some sort of hump they need to get over. The response to these allegations has been swift, with Justin's lawyer Brian Friedman vehemently denying the claims. In a strongly worded statement, Friedman described Blake's accusations as completely false, outrageous, and intentionally salacious. He didn't stop there, too, accusing Blake of using this lawsuit as a way to repair what he called her negative reputation. According to Friedman, the claims Blake has made are nothing more than a rehashing of old grievances from the film's production, now packaged in a way designed to tarnish Justin's career. But if Friedman's goal was to paint Blake's lawsuit as baseless, the industry's reaction suggests otherwise. WME's decision to drop Justin, a significant career blow, signals that the accusations are being taken very seriously. For someone like Justin, who has spent years building his reputation as a thoughtful actor and director, the loss of such a high-profile agency is a devastating setback. Adding to the drama is the public support Blake has received from those closest to her. Her sister, Robin Lively, hasn't held back in showing solidarity. Robin took to Instagram to share her relief over the situation, even posting excerpts from a New York Times article that delves into Justin's alleged misconduct. The move was a clear sign that Blake has her family firmly in her corner as she navigates this highly publicized ordeal. But it's not just family standing behind Blake. Colleen Hoover, the best-selling author of It Ends With Us, the original book, has also come forward in support. Given the film's connection to her novel, Colleen's decision to publicly back Blake carries significant weight. She praised Blake for her honesty and character, making it clear where she stands in this escalating dispute. The fallout from these allegations has sparked debate within Hollywood. Justin's removal from WME has left many wondering whether more professional ties will be severed in the coming weeks. Will production companies, collaborators, and other agencies follow suit, or will Justin just find a way to bounce back? Public reaction to the allegations has been just as polarized. On social media, many have rallied behind Blake, commending her for speaking out and taking a stand against behavior that so often goes unchallenged. Others, however, have raised questions about Justin's side of the story, calling for more evidence before passing judgment. Blake's decision to speak out has forced the entertainment industry to confront its own complicity in fostering environments where bad behavior is allowed to thrive. And Justin's sudden career setback suggests that the era of sweeping these issues under the rug may finally be coming to an end. New allegations have come to light that further complicate the narrative. Blake has accused Justin of improvising intimate scenes without her consent during the filming of It Ends With Us, a move she describes as a blatant disregard for professional boundaries. These unscripted moments left her feeling vulnerable and disrespected, adding to the growing list of grievances she has publicly shared. In addition to the on-set improprieties, Blake alleges that Justin engaged in conversations about his personal intimate life in her presence, creating an uncomfortable and unprofessional atmosphere. Such discussions, she contends, were not only out of line, but also contributed to a work environment that made it increasingly difficult for her to perform her duties as an actress. The impact of these allegations has been significant, with Justin being dropped by his talent agency, WME, in the wake of the whole thing. This development marks a substantial setback in his career, signaling the industry's serious stance on such matters. Meanwhile, Blake has received an outpouring of support from her peers and the public, reinforcing her position as she navigates this challenging situation. Adding to the complexity of the situation, Blake's lawsuit includes claims that Justin's team attempted to undermine her reputation through a calculated smear campaign. She alleges that his PR representatives sought to portray her as difficult to work with, thereby deflecting attention from his alleged misconduct. In response to the allegations, Justin's legal team has vehemently denied any wrongdoing. His attorney, Brian Friedman, has labeled Blake's claims as categorically false and outrageous, suggesting that she is attempting to rehabilitate her own image at his client's expense. Blake's decision to come forward with her experiences has been lauded by many as a courageous stand against his behavior, potentially encouraging others to speak out. Conversely, the allegations have prompted scrutiny of Justin's past actions and professional relationships, casting a shadow over his previously unblemished public persona. As the legal proceedings advance, the entertainment community and the public at large are watching closely. The case serves as a reminder of the importance of maintaining professional boundaries and the serious consequences that can arise when those boundaries are crossed. It also highlights the power dynamics at play in the industry and the challenges individuals may face when bringing allegations against prominent figures. The situation remains fluid, with new developments emerging as the case progresses. Both parties are expected to present further evidence to support their claims, and the legal stuff may uncover additional facets of the story that have yet to be revealed. As such, the entertainment industry is bracing for the potential impact of the case's outcome and its practices on culture. Ultimately, the resolution of this dispute will not only affect Blake and Justin directly, but may also influence broader conversations about accountability and conduct within Hollywood. Leaked footage just dropped of Justin Baldwin that proves that Blake Lively was right about him.
The legal war has begun between actress Blake Lively and her co-star Justin Baldwin.
Blake Lively is suing the film's director and her co-star, Justin Baldwin.
We take it very, very seriously.
If I was his PR management team, I'd be scrambling for new talking points because this is looking beyond bad for him.
Mr. Baldwin's legal team told the BBC the allegations are categorically false.
Justin Baldwin's past confessions about his struggles with adult media are suddenly back in the spotlight, and not in a good way. Thanks to Blake Lively's recent accusations, his words from a 2021 interview on Sarah Grinberg's A Life of Greatness podcast have resurfaced, but this time they're fueling a much darker narrative. Back then, Justin had opened up about a personal and deeply vulnerable topic, his introduction to adult media at just 10 years old.
For the 10-year-old who found for the first time before he was ready.
It was a revelation that had people talking for all the right reasons until now. See, Justin had described how stumbling upon adult content at such a young age left a lasting impact, creating what he later recognized as patterns in his life. It was long before I even understood what I was feeling, he said in the interview, reflecting on how something so taboo became so intriguing. When something is off limits, it naturally becomes appealing. That's just human nature, he explained, candidly addressing how the secrecy surrounding it heightened its allure. Over time, he admitted this fascination evolved into a coping mechanism, his way of dealing with feelings of loneliness. I trained my brain to deal with tough emotions by chasing that rush, Justin confessed, openly acknowledging the way it shaped him over the years.
By admitting that you are sad or needing help is to then admit that you are not a man.
At the time, these admissions were seen as introspective and honest. People applauded him for his willingness to talk openly about something so personal, especially in an industry where carefully curated images often win out over real vulnerability. But fast forward to today, and those same reflections are being seen in a completely different light. Blake's lawsuit against Justin isn't just about on-set disagreements, it's about boundary-crossing behavior that, according to her, went far beyond anything remotely professional. Suddenly, the past Justin laid bare isn't helping his case. It's only adding more weight to Blake's allegations. According to Blake's legal complaint, Justin's actions on the set of It Ends With Us created a work environment so uncomfortable, it triggered an emergency HR meeting. And this wasn't just an internal HR issue. Blake's husband, Ryan Reynolds, reportedly had to get involved to make sure her concerns weren't ignored. The documents Blake filed outline multiple instances where Justin was allegedly warned to stop making personal comments about her appearance or family. He was also told to steer clear of bringing up his adult media history around her, boundaries that Blake says he didn't respect. Blake's claims go even further, accusing Justin of trying to push unapproved script changes that would have taken the film in an entirely different direction. She described the proposed changes as excessive, saying they went far beyond what the original tone of the story was going for. Things got so bad, Blake reportedly demanded stricter protocols on set set, including hiring an intimacy coordinator to ensure boundaries were respected. But even with those measures in place, she alleges that Justin continued to test limits, creating what she described as an increasingly unstable atmosphere. And as if the alleged on-set behavior wasn't enough, Blake's lawsuit also pulls back the curtain on what she claims was a deliberate effort to damage her reputation. She accuses Justin and his PR team of planting stories in the media to paint her as difficult to work with. The legal filing even includes text messages between two PR executives that sound more like something out of a reality show than professional correspondence. In one alleged exchange, PR executive Melissa Nathan reportedly joked about sending Blake as a present in a box, to which publicist Jennifer Abel casually replied, "Dang it." Blake's team points to this as proof of the hostility she faced, arguing that it reflected the broader effort to undermine her, and the damage didn't stop behind closed doors. Blake's lawsuit claims that Justin's team also targeted her during the It Ends With Us promotional campaign. Interviews that sparked criticism of Blake as being tone-deaf or disconnected from the movie's themes, well, according to her legal team, they weren't entirely organic. The lawsuit includes text messages suggesting that Justin's team discussed ways to amplify negative reactions to Blake's media appearances, effectively shifting public perception in his favor. One alleged message even had Justin asking, "What is the TikTok strategy?" A question Blake's team says highlights how calculated the efforts were to reframe the narrative around the film and its stars. On top of all of this, Blake's lawsuit details what she describes as unsettling behavior from Justin behind the scenes. She accuses him of repeatedly entering her trailer without being invited, often during private moments. She also claims he lingered uncomfortably during close contact scenes, despite the HR interventions and the presence of the intimacy coordinator she had specifically requested. At one point, Blake says Justin crossed yet another line by showing her a personal video, something she felt was completely out of line in a professional setting. These incidents, Blake alleges, were part of a larger pattern of behavior that made her working conditions intolerable. While Justin's admissions once painted him as someone trying to come to terms with his past, they now risk being seen as foreshadowing, a glimpse into behavior that, if Blake's allegations are true, spilled over into his professional life in different ways. The lawsuit has already sparked heated discussions in Hollywood, with many wondering how much of this will lead to real accountability and how much will simply be swept under the rug. But the fallout of these accusations isn't just limited to Blake and Justin. It's sending ripples throughout Hollywood. WME, the powerhouse talent agency that represented both actors, wasted no time making their stance clear. Justin dropped. Blake still firmly on their roster. That divide has become a talking point of its own, signaling where industry loyalties might lie as this legal drama heats up. For Justin, losing WME is more than just a slap on the wrist. It's a massive professional blow, especially for someone who's been trying to carve out a space for himself as both an actor and a director. And of course, Justin isn't staying silent. His lawyer, Brian Friedman, has come out swinging with a fiery statement that accuses Blake of using her lawsuit to save face. Friedman didn't mince words, calling her claims categorically false, outrageous, and intentionally salacious. He went on to suggest that Blake's lawsuit is less about justice and more about a PR strategy to repair her image, claiming that her behavior on set contributed to tensions during the production. But it doesn't stop there. Friedman's counterattack also takes aim at Blake's alleged behind-the-scenes moves. He claims that Blake has her own PR team working overtime to plant damaging stories about Justin and Wayfarer Studios, which is the production company behind It Ends With Us. According to Friedman, the so-called evidence Blake has included in her legal filings, such as those damning text messages, has been carefully cherry-picked and completely taken out of context. His argument was that what she was framing as a smear campaign is really just standard PR strategy, the kind of stuff that happens all the time in Hollywood. But it seems really weird to say it's just standard PR strategy when one of your managers is telling a publicist that they might ship Blake Lively in a box as a present. I mean, that's just strange. Meanwhile, Blake is holding her ground and then some. She's made it clear that this legal action isn't just about her, it's about something much bigger. In a public statement released alongside her lawsuit, Blake framed herself as a whistleblower for change in an industry that, let's face it, has a long history of sweeping these kinds of accusations under the rug. This isn't just about me, it's about protecting others who may feel powerless to defend themselves, Blake said, positioning her case as a rallying cry for accountability. Her lawsuit doesn't just focus on Justin's alleged actions, it also shines a light on how Hollywood handles or fails to handle conflicts like these. By stepping forward, Blake has forced uncomfortable conversations about the power dynamics, reputation politics, and workplace dynamics that so often go unchecked in the entertainment world. Her choice to go public with these allegations has drawn a lot of attention, with some calling it a brave stand against unstable practices and others questioning the motives on both sides. What's clear though is that Blake isn't backing down. She's using her platform to call out to not just Justin, but also the broader culture that allows boundary-pushing behavior to persist, unchecked, in one of the world's most glamorous industries. Blake Lively isn't the nicest celeb on the planet. We know this from her interviews and reported conduct that recently came out about her. Well, there's only one thing we can do about it, and that's compile a list. These are some of Blake Lively's rudest moments caught on camera. The notorious interview. When reporter Kirsty Flaw congratulated a pregnant Blake Lively in 2016 during an interview on her little bump, Blake retorted with a snarky "Congrats on your little bump."
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
An agitated Flaw, who wasn't pregnant, giggled uneasily as Blake Lively and co-star Parker Posey continued to make small talk. Turning to Posey, Lively said, "Everyone wants to ask about the clothes, but I wonder if they would ask the men about the clothes." She was being asked about the period costumes for the Woody Allen movie. Flaw looked on nervously as the two, in typical mean girl way, disregarded the reporter and talked about what the males wore in the movie.
His wardrobe was beautiful.
They literally pretended the interviewer doesn't exist. This is just a 101 high school tactic. A YouTuber replied. Another wrote, "I think it's crazy how Blake calls herself a feminist, yet goes after a fellow woman on her body, when the woman was clearly congratulating her." After the clip went viral, Flaw told the Daily Mail, "I was there so they could promote a movie. I was invited to meet them. It certainly did not feel like that. I felt belittled and ignored, and it made me question if I ever wanted to do these types of interviews again." She further disclosed that her inability to conceive made the little bump remark very upsetting. "I didn't know how to react. I felt very uncomfortable throughout the interview, and all I wanted to do was leave and get out of there as fast as I could," Flaw shared. She dismissed the themes of her newest movie. One of the many troubling aspects surrounding the promotion of It Ends With Us has been the lack of seriousness given to the topic of DV, particularly in the case of Blake Lively. As she and her co-star Brandon Sklenar spoke with reporter Jake Hamilton, Blake Lively was asked how fans of the film may get in touch with her if they saw her out in public. Like asking for my address or my phone number or like my location share. "I could just location share you," she joked.
Or like my location share? Oh, I could just location share you and...
Her initial response to the first question is so out of touch, a fan stated. The subject of DV clearly has too much depth for her. They're all talking about getting emotional over the project, and she's talking about looking pretty while crying. "Just do everyone a favor and leave the promotion to Justin," another replied. When Lively shared a Q&A she conducted with It Ends With Us author Colleen Hoover and her castmates Jenny Slate and Isabella Ferrer, she came under further criticism. Rather than talking about the movie's somber content, they engaged in a lighthearted conversation about things like zodiac signs. "This is shameful. I don't understand why everyone's laughing and no one mentioned DV even once," an Instagram user commented. "The film deals with a very serious thing, which is DV, and she is talking as if it were a romantic film," another said. She said that pregnancy cravings aren't real. Is Blake Lively sensitive to the topic of pregnancy, or was she just having fun? Blake Lively was asked how she was doing by Extra while she was pregnant with her first child, James, via TikTok. Ryan Reynolds' wife was 7 months pregnant and in need of foot rubs. "Oh, she's just taking advantage," Lively chuckled. "You're a sucker. You can't fall for that stuff. Cravings? Nah." She continued. After claiming that women fabricate pregnant desires in order to obtain what they desire, the actor clarified that she was making a joke. A user on TikTok remarked, "When I was pregnant, I wanted mashed potatoes every day. In the 2 years I've had my daughter, I've had mashed potatoes 4 to 5 times. I'm glad I'm finding out cravings aren't a thing. Thanks, Blake." Another quipped, "I'm starting to think she probably doesn't know how to interview. P.S. My feet hurt all the time." Lively admitted to having cravings for her 4th pregnancy, even though she didn't have any at the time. She posted a picture of an opulent pastrami and cheese sandwich from a New Orleans restaurant, according to Us Weekly. "Tell me you're pregnant without telling me you're pregnant," she wrote. I hope she didn't use her husband Ryan Reynolds as an excuse to force him to take an early night flight to New Orleans in order to sate her appetite. Kate Middleton was ridiculed by her. Following the release of a digitally manipulated family portrait including Kate Middleton and her 3 children, there was a great deal of conjecture. Per NBC News, a few days later, Blake Lively shared a photo in a now deleted Instagram post that was obviously edited with the caption, "I'm so excited to share this new photo I just took today to announce our 4 new Betty Buzz and Betty Boo's products. Now you know why I've been MIA." After Middleton revealed her cancer diagnosis, Lively said in a seemingly playful post, "I made a silly post around the Photoshop fails frenzy, and oh man, that post has me mortified today. I'm sorry. Sending love and well wishes to all, always." She posted her Photoshop fail joke about Princess Kate and now is mortified. She thought it was okay to take a jab at a mother of 3 recovering from an unknown surgery because other celebrities were. Tall tale of a follower, a Reddit user posted. A fan commented, "Poor judgment coming from a grown woman with children of her own in a celebrity family. Not even funny, no purpose for posting." She promoted her brands during her press tour. People prepare for more tone-deaf moments from Blake Lively. She not only seized the chance to make It Ends With Us about her style, but the performer also utilized the film to advertise Betty Boo's, her line of beverages. "I've got a dream! When your company throws a florist-themed party for your movie, at It Ends With Us movie, I love the bottles as tiny as vases. Thank you, team," she gushed on Instagram while standing in front of a floral wall in a bright pink outfit. Once more, the glitzy visuals didn't fit the mood of the film, and a lot of DV sufferers criticized her for endorsing beverages, which is connected to certain behaviors. That same day, Lively advertised for Blake Brown, her hair care line, which is another one of her brands. 7 years and thousands of washes later, Blake Brown Beauty is finally available in Target stores nationwide. 8 hardworking products for great hair days. We can't wait for you to try them, smell them, live in them, she shared on Instagram. Although she made no mention of It Ends With Us, fans criticized her for promoting her products rather than raising awareness of DV. Disappointed that you're promoting your own hair care products and flower dresses rather than shining more light on DV, considering you're acting in a movie about it, an Instagram user replied. Things Justin Baldoni did to Blake Lively. Adding scenes. According to Blake Lively's lawsuit, concerns about Justin Baldoni's creative decisions arose even before filming for It Ends With Us began. Blake strongly opposed his proposed addition of scenes, describing them as unnecessary. The legal documents included a specific request to halt further attempts to add elements to the film. This included a stipulation that no new scenes, depictions of certain acts, or on-camera completions involving Blake would be introduced beyond what had been approved when she initially signed on to the project. Blake also alleged that Justin initiated unwanted physical contact during their scenes. This included discussions of his own life and instances where consent may not have been respected. The lawsuit describes how Justin introduced physical aspects that had not been rehearsed, choreographed, or discussed with her in advance. For example, during one scene, Justin reportedly bit and sucked on Blake's lower lip and improvised multiple smooches during each take. And that just gives me shivers all over thinking about it. Furthermore, he allegedly insisted on repeating the scene far more times than what would be typically required on a professional set, doing so without prior notice or her consent. Another incident involved Justin pressuring Blake to remove portions of her costume for a childbirth scene. He allegedly told her it was unrealistic for her character to remain that dressed up during labor, citing personal anecdotes about his wife doing the same during childbirth. Although Blake disagreed, she claims she ultimately felt forced to compromise by appearing that way for the scene. This dude needs serious help and probably a cell somewhere. His habits and other behavior. Blake Lively's lawsuit also highlights instances of Justin's remarks and behaviors on set. A meeting was reportedly held in January 2024 to address her mounting concerns about the production. Her husband, Ryan Reynolds, attended alongside her to ensure her demands were addressed. Among the conditions discussed were requests to stop showing Blake weird videos or weird images of women to avoid mentioning Justin's alleged habits, and to cease conversations about conquests in front of Blake and the cast and crew. Additional boundaries included avoiding comments about Blake's size and refraining from bringing up personal topics such as her father. Blake claims that the film's producer, Jamie Heath, also engaged in weirdo conduct. According to her, Heath once entered her trailer and watched her while her body makeup was being removed, despite her clear request for privacy. Both Justin Justin and Heath allegedly entered her makeup trailer at other times while she was feeding her baby or not ready to be looked at, further adding to her woes. In response to Blake's complaints, the production company Wayfarer agreed to implement new safety measures. They issued a statement affirming their commitment to maintaining a secure work environment, even while noting differences in their perspectives during the incidents. Blake later acknowledged that the implementation of these changes had led to some improvement in on-set behavior by the spring. Breaking character during filming. Another claim in the lawsuit involves an incident during a rooftop dance scene. While filming, Justin allegedly broke character to engage in behavior that Blake found strange. According to the lawsuit, he leaned forward and dragged his lips from her ear to her neck, commenting on how she smelled. This interaction was reportedly unscripted and had no connection to the scene or dialogue being filmed. The legal documents describe it as a personal gesture rather than an in-character action. When Blake objected to this behavior later, Justin reportedly dismissed her concerns, claiming he wasn't even attracted to her. Yeah, that'll do it, man. The remarks he made when she was postpartum. Blake Lively also accuses Justin of making remarks about her size shortly after she had given birth to her fourth child. The lawsuit states that just weeks before filming, Justin contacted Blake's personal trainer without her knowledge. During this conversation, he allegedly implied that Blake needed to move a few sizes down the chart within 2 weeks, using a scene where he would need to lift her as justification. However, there was no such scene ever planned for the film. The situation worsened when Blake later contracted strep throat. According to her lawsuit, Justin suggested a health expert to help her recover, presenting it as a kind gesture. However, when Blake reviewed the privacy forms, she discovered that the expert was actually a size loss specialist, leading her to believe the suggestion was motivated by his ongoing focus on her appearance. Social media campaign to ruin her reputation. Blake's lawsuit also accuses Justin of orchestrating a deliberate campaign to harm her reputation through social media manipulation. The documents include thousands of text messages and emails obtained via subpoena, which allegedly revealed Justin's team collaborating with a management expert. One particularly alarming message involves a publicist discussing strategies to bury Blake's public image. Another aspect of this campaign allegedly involved astroturfing, a tactic where fake opinions are posted online to appear as though they came from real users. Justin also reportedly referred to online posts targeting other celebrities as inspiration for his campaign. In one instance, he referenced a thread accusing Hailey Bieber of being mean, describing it as the kind of narrative he wanted to achieve. Additionally, his team allegedly discussed using feminism as a tool, citing Taylor Swift as an example in their strategy. Amid this fallout, Justin is said to have altered his social media approach after the film's premiere, shifting focus towards survivor advocacy and other themes relating to the movie content to rehabilitate his image. His team reportedly advised against such an abrupt change in strategy, but Justin insisted on continuing with the new narrative, claiming contact with Blake's late father. This one is wild. Blake Lively alleges that Justin Baldwin engaged in behavior she couldn't even believe, including claims that he could communicate with her late father. Justin allegedly told her on multiple occasions that he had spoken with her father, Ernie Blake, who passed away in June 2021. According to the complaint, Blake found these statements deeply invasive, particularly given the personal nature of the loss. Excessive physical contact on set. The lawsuit states that both Justin and producer Jamie Heath frequently hugged or touched cast or crew members. Blake claims that when she or others avoided these interactions, the two men would respond with irritation or hostility. The result was described as an unpredictable and unwelcoming environment that made collaboration difficult for Blake and her team. Comments on women's appearance. Blake alleges that Justin regularly referred to women in the workplace by certain adjectives, brushing off their discomfort with dismissive remarks. In one instance, he complimented a female cast member's leather pants as looking beyond nice. And when she objected, he excused the behavior by saying, "I can say that because my wife is here." Is Justin sane? Blake herself experienced similar comments. While wearing a low-cut dress under a coat for easily being able to feed her child, Justin allegedly pressured her to remove the coat on set, saying he wanted to see her outfit. According to Blake, when she refused, Justin described her appearance as good-looking and later sarcastically remarked, "I guess I missed the HR meeting." Other female cast members reportedly shared similar experiences of unwanted remarks from Justin. Another complaint. The lawsuit cites additional complaints against Justin from other cast members. On May 29, 2023, one actress reportedly filed a formal complaint about Justin's gross and unwanted comments. Earlier in the production, another actress raised concerns about his remarks on her appearance. While Justin initially acknowledged her concerns, Blake claims that the actress later confided in her, saying that she could no longer engage with him outside of scenes. Impact on Blake's family. Blake's legal documents describe the toll Justin's alleged behavior has taken on her, her husband, Ryan Reynolds, and their children. Blake reportedly had plenty of feelings that affected her ability to function in her personal and professional life. Her family, including her children, allegedly experienced significant upheaval due to the surrounding situation. Professional and financial damages. Blake claims that the whole thing led to substantial professional setbacks. She withdrew from hosting the highly anticipated Saturday Night Live season 50 premiere and canceled key events, including a corporate engagement for her hair care line, Blake Brown Beauty. The lawsuit also alleges significant financial losses for her businesses. Initially, Blake Brown was reportedly Target's most successful hair care launch, but the social manipulation campaign allegedly caused sales to plummet by 56% to 78%. Additionally, Blake's other brands, Betty Buzz and Betty Booze, faced online trolling, forcing them to pause social media activity, which negatively impacted their business operations, as you can imagine. Blake Lively's got a lot to apologize for, and she seemingly doesn't want to, especially to that interviewer. Let me explain how Blake Lively refuses to apologize for being rude to an interviewer.
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
Blake Lively hasn't apologized, according to the Entertainment Reporter, who almost quit her job after a nightmare interview went viral for all the wrong reasons.
Hi everyone, this has been a really crazy week for me.
Kirsty Flaw discussed the incident on her YouTube channel very recently. In 2016, the actress publicly complimented Lively on her little bump, only for Lively to coldly respond. Flaw said that it took her a while to actually get over it. Flaw has now disclosed that she is infertile. It affected me for a while because it made me nervous when I was interviewing other people after that, and I blamed myself for it for a long time because I felt like I did or said something wrong, the celebrity journalist shared. This comes right after her less than stellar press tour for her new movie It Ends With Us. The interview between Ryan Reynolds and co-star Brandon Sklenar for Blake Lively's It Ends With Us marketing was absurd. "What are you doing? This isn't Deadpool. Why are you trying to be funny?" one of Ryan Reynolds' Instagram followers wrote in response to the video. Fans of Blake, meantime, were baffled as to why there was never a video on her account talking about the concepts shown in the movie, because it's a pretty deep movie. As a result of the continuous debate concerning Blake's subpar marketing, Flaw uploaded a video on YouTube titled "The Blake Lively Interview That Made Me Want to Quit My Job." In an interview with ET, Blake talked excitedly about the vintage Britney Spears outfit she wore to the It Ends With Us premiere. Still, when Flaw tried to talk to her about her Cafe Society attire, she got defensive. "Everyone wants to talk about the clothes, but I wonder if they would ask the men about the clothes," said Blake, turning from Flaw to her co-star Parker Posey. That's the reason Flaw waited so long to share a video of the sit-down, which featured Parker Posey, Lively's co-star from Cafe Society. When Flaw posted the horrific interview, she said she hadn't read up on all the other stuff surrounding Lively and her new film It Ends With Us, and it was just a coincidence. During their conversation, Flaw believed that Lively was displaying mean girl energy, stating that it made her feel left out. She continued by expressing her gratitude to the thousands of people who had reached out to her with supportive notes ever since the sit-down became public. She asserted that Lively is not one of them. No one came out and apologized, and they probably told her, "Don't come out and say sorry. Don't react. Don't do anything. We'll take care of this for you. We'll just say that it's the journalist's fault and that you were offended by her, and then we'll just plant some other good, positive stories." Theoretically, Flaw said, "I think that's the problem." Flaw feels that many Hollywood A-listers don't own up to their mistakes because they're afraid that it's going to backfire or that it's going to make them look bad, noting it's time to change that. "I think if Blake Lively would have come out in front of this," she said, "things would have been very different." Blake has, nevertheless, shown that she is capable of expressing regret for her deeds. She regretted her quip about Kate Middleton being away from the public view and confessed that she and Ryan Reynolds made a mistake in their plantation wedding. Blake Lively's had a good run in Hollywood, but has her past caught up to her? It's possible that not even her hubby Ryan Reynolds can save her from the scrutiny now.
What is the next
What does
5
that
years
mean?
The internet is seriously sick of Blake Lively, and her tone-deaf publicity tour for her movie It Ends With Us has brought attention to some of her previous headlining moments. The movie is based on the best-selling book by Colleen Hoover about a woman who is trying to escape a cycle in a relationship she no longer wants.
I want to see you again.
Now you see me.
You know what I mean.
Some viewers, meanwhile, believe Blake played down the delicate subject matter of the film and pretended to be advertising a totally unrelated one. In an attempt to draw attention to her movie, Blake staged an unending procession of floral ensembles, drawing inspiration from her persona as Lily Bloom, the proprietor of a flower shop. She was accused of behaving as though she was marketing the Barbie movie, and a playful promo on the It Ends With Us Instagram page really had people up in arms. "Grab your friends, wear your florals, and head out to see it," Blake says. "Wear your florals? Is she kidding us? This is a DV movie, not Gossip Girl," one commenter on the video said.
The drama surrounding It Ends With Us has been all over social media.
In addition, there's her hover husband. The egos of Blake and Ryan Reynolds were very visible before the film's release. Their use of Blake's promotional tour to promote her hair care business and Ryan's film, Deadpool and Wolverine, garnered criticism. Hugh Jackman, who co-starred with Ryan Reynolds, even posed with the couple on the pink carpet at the NYC premiere of It Ends With Us. Some fans' opinions of Blake has also been damaged by a poorly received joke about a missing royal and an old interview that has surfaced. In Blake Lively's It Ends With Us promotion, Ryan Reynolds and co-star Brandon Sklenar had a ridiculous interview.
Oh, God. This is cool. It's not every day the husband gets to...
WTF are you doing? This isn't Deadpool. Why are you trying to be funny? One of Ryan Reynolds' Instagram followers wrote in response to the video. Meanwhile, Blake's fans were perplexed as to why there was never a video on her account discussing the themes portrayed in the film. She joined Colleen Hoover for a conversation in the tape about subjects like zodiac signs, along with her co-stars Isabella Ferrer and Jenny Slate. "You guys, we talked about our movie not at all. Thanks for joining us." Blake concluded their female talk with a joke. In 2016, reporter Kirsty Flaw undoubtedly would have loved to talk to Blake when she was that silly, giddy person. The ongoing discussion around Blake's poor marketing led to Flaw posting a video on YouTube with the title, "The Blake Lively Interview That Made Me Want to Quit My Job." Blake enthusiastically spoke about the vintage Britney Spears dress she wore to the It Ends With Us premiere in an interview with ET. She became defensive, nevertheless, when Flaw attempted to discuss her Cafe Society outfits with her. Blake turned to face her co-star Parker Posey instead of Flaw, saying, "Everyone wants to talk about the clothes, but I wonder if they would ask the men about the clothes." There's no doubt that Blake Lively owes Kirsty Flaw an apology for making a bad joke about her. Flaw mentioned Blake's pregnancy during their conversation, stating, "Congrats on your little bump." Addressing the reporter who wasn't pregnant, Blake angrily shot out, "Congrats on your little bump." Remarkably, TMZ said that Blake was not thrilled with her It Ends With Us co-star Justin Baldwin because she thought he was making fun of her. Because of his alleged ailing back, he was concerned that picking her up in one scene would make it worse. However, Blake has demonstrated that she is able to express regret for her actions. She and Ryan Reynolds have expressed remorse for their plantation wedding, and she acknowledged that her joke about Kate Middleton's removal from the public eye was a royal screw-up. Additionally, Blake made fun of the photoshopped photo that Kate had released on Mother's Day by sharing her own digitally altered photo on Instagram. "I'm so excited to share this new photo I just took today to announce our 4 new Betty Buzz and Betty Boost products. Now you know why I've been MIA," she wrote. Blake took down the advertisement for her Betty Buzz drink brand after finding out that Kate was battling cancer. "Oh man, that post has me mortified today," she wrote on her Instagram story, "I'm sorry."
Everyone is freaking out about Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. Some say there's definitely trouble in paradise. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have the perfect marriage. At least that's what some of their fans believe. Since tying the knot on September 9th, 2012, the couple has astounded the public with their heartwarming displays of outward affection.
Thank you to my husband, who's everything to me. You can't have him, he's mine!
Ryan has grown particularly famous for the sappy expressions of love that he shows to his wife.
You've made me the father of my dreams when I thought I only had fun uncle potential.
In 2023, he celebrated Blake's 36th birthday on an Instagram post, which he declared, "The only thing irrevocably mine in the world is the love and appreciation and awe I feel for this person." Witnessing her life is something I couldn't take for granted, even if I tried. And believe me, I try. So freaking cute. Although even though they're very much in love, fans are questioning things due to a few theories. I'm gonna dive in, give you the gossip, and let you know the tea. An anonymous source told Radar Online that Blake and Ryan simply could not balance their personal career ambitions with their desire to spend time together as a couple. They've completely drifted apart, they're both focused on their careers, and they have no time for each other, the source relayed. Although the rumors surrounding Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' relationship happened in 2024, there have long been questions about the couple's compatibility. Some moviegoers even questioned the duo's chemistry as far back as 2011. Apparently, Ryan and Blake's on-screen performance in the action movie Green Lantern left a lot to be desired in terms of their rapport. Some film buffs even questioned the couple's ability to connect. Writing on Reddit, one film fan shared, "I'm actually one of those weird people who liked Green Lantern, but by far the worst problem I had was there was no chemistry between the two leads, Ryan and Blake." The fan went on to express surprise concerning the couple's real-life romance, asking, "How is something like this even possible? I'm stunned." Of course, it's important to remember that Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively were not in any sort of romantic relationship at the time they started filming Green Lantern in 2010. In fact, they met for the first time on the set of this movie, meaning they still hadn't even had the chance to develop much of a bond. Even Ryan himself told SiriusXM that him and Blake were just buddies in those early days. That being said, these acknowledgements of the couple's chemistries might lead some fans to believe that they are lacking in the romance department that a couple needs to survive. Despite the unnecessary comments surrounding their chemistry, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively got married in 2012. However, whereas many couples head straight from their weddings to their honeymoon, Ryan and Blake did not have that luxury. Due to the demanding nature of their careers, they tried to balance their filming commitments with their honeymoon expectations. Directly following their wedding, they squeezed in a quick getaway to Little Washington, Virginia. They kept their stay to a minimum though, as Blake needed to rush back to the set of Gossip Girl. These scheduling difficulties may indicate that Blake and Ryan don't always have a lot of time for love and romance. Thanks to their demanding work commitments, they might not always be able to find sufficient time together. It's said that Ryan and Blake can get competitive with each other, especially in terms of who makes the best movies. Blake opened up about this complicated dynamic in a 2024 interview with Heart, commenting on the rivalry between their films. It Ends With Us and Deadpool and Wolverine. The actor declared that she had won the competition because she was technically in both movies. As lighthearted as these comments were, however, some sources say that the competition between Lively and Reynolds can really heat up. An anonymous source told Radar Online, Blake and Ryan's career rivalry is a problem. Although it is difficult to say whether this is actually true, we can imagine that Blake and Ryan's best movie contests grow pretty passionate. One of the toughest moments for Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds appears to be part of their jobs. Over the years, the couple has clashed a bit on the red carpet due to different dispositions. While Blake has long held the reputation for being the star of the show, Ryan has not always seemed too keen on spending time in front of the cameras. On August 6, 2024, the couple made an appearance together at the It Ends With Us premiere. Halfway through their red carpet walk, however, Ryan stopped Blake and whispered something to her. Professional lip reader Nicola Hickling exclusively told The List that Ryan Reynolds expressed his impatience at the premiere. She revealed that he asked, "Is this the last time?" Apparently, this comment was probably in reference to posing for photos on the red carpet. All in all, this moment shows that the couple might clash a little on the red carpet, as Blake potentially pushes Ryan to spend more time posing for photos. It's not possible that the latter does not feel particularly at ease. This dynamic could certainly add tension to their marriage. Another point of reference in Blake Lively's marriage with Ryan Reynolds may be the couple's relationship with public displays of affection. Although Ryan has historically showered his wife with public words of affirmation, evidence does indicate that he might not be as comfortable showing physical affection in public settings.
Blake Lively can't seem to get rid of these rumors, and it really just keeps piling on. Things are getting worse for Blake Lively.
Blake, you say hi to Stephanie, it's my girlfriend. Hi, Stephanie. Thank you so much. You should leave him.
Right now, Blake Lively is in an enormous PR storm. The most popular actress on the internet has become the target of public opinion due to a number of resurfaced interviews that showed less than stellar moments throughout continuing It Ends With Us issues. The actress has come under fire for making fun of people who have transitioned in previous interviews. Her usage of the term TRANNY, which some trans people believe to be not very nice, has drawn a lot lot of backlash from fans.
Had tons of plastic surgery and we're actually men and trannies.
Which some people who have transitioned believe to be not very nice, has drawn a lot of backlash from fans. These uncovered clips have sparked talks on the internet due to their dubious remarks and apparent nature. Even though the information was meant to be innocuous, many people found it unsavory. The actress said the phrase in a 2009 interview with Allure to talk about her on the Gossip Girl set. According to reports, she stated, "I feel like a T-word a lot of the time. I don't know, I'm large. They put me in 6-inch heels and I tower over every man. I've got this long hair and lots of clothes and makeup on. I just feel really big a lot of the time and I'm surrounded by a lot of tiny people. I feel like a man sometimes." It turns out though that the actress said that term again in a 2012 Elle magazine interview. "I hope to have a few girls one day. If not girls, they better be T-words because I have some amazing shoes and bags and stories that need to be appreciated," is what she said. In addition, the phrase is said to have been used by the actress in a number of earlier interviews that are currently being shared. Particularly considering that she is already entangled in a web of continuous discussion, the reappearance of these clips is undoubtedly not good for her public image. This comes right after the talk around It Ends With Us that started when a journalist posted their nightmare interview with Blake Lively on YouTube. In a nutshell, Blake Lively's lighthearted promotional strategy for the film, which is an adaptation of Colleen Hoover's 2016 novel, has drawn attention from the internet. Many people found it weird, especially because she was promoting her new hair care product, Blake Brown. Not only that, but she further incited the discussion by using themed cocktails like Rile You Wait, which was named after the bad acting character in the narrative, to market her beverage firm, Betty Buzz. Amid all of this, Norwegian journalist Kirsty Flå posted footage from an interview she did in 2016 with the actress, saying it made her want to quit her work. Flå praised Lively on her little bump during the marketing of her Woody Allen directed movie Cafe Society. Lively had just revealed her pregnancy a short week prior, but after that, Lively was allegedly heard taking it in a different way than it was meant and giving the journalist a caustic response, adding, "Congrats on your little bump," even though she wasn't pregnant.
Congrats on your little bump.
To put it mildly, the interview that followed was quite strange. Many people also surmise that the actress's past interviews have now come to light at an odd time, given that Justin Baldoni hired the same PR firm that supported Johnny Depp during his trial against Amber Heard. Even if these are only conjectures and nothing more, it seems like the situation is becoming worse every day. Looking through Blake Lively's past isn't shining such a great light on her. Let's look at some moments when Blake Lively's behavior went too far.
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
Although you may have believed that the Gossip Girl co-stars were closest friends, the reality couldn't be further from the truth. Before delivering her statement at PallyFest in 2008, Blake Lively is shown in the rediscovered interview participating in a panel discussion with Leighton Meester and the other Gossip Girl cast members. She was disclosing the promises the producers of Gossip Girls had given her in order to guarantee her role as Serena on the show. She explained that in the books, Chuck Bass had a pet monkey, something she wasn't keen on.
It was another promise was no pet monkey.
So she admitted that she made them promise there would be no pet monkey. She continued, "Chuck has a pet monkey with coordinating outfits, and I was like, I would love to be a part of the show, but I can't act with a monkey." She then pointed directly to Leighton and joked, "Well, I got a few of them." Leighton was offended by the remark, rightfully so, and Penn Badgley and Chase Crawford glanced at the ground awkwardly as the audience chuckled.
And then I got a few of them.
When none of her co-stars laughed, she exclaimed, "Come on, it was a joke, Lord have mercy."
Come on, it was a joke.
Not a very good joke. A tweet went viral which showed an image of Blake Lively giving a quote to a journalist where she says a term widely accepted to be not very kind to those who've transitioned. Blake Lively talked to Elle magazine about her hopes for her future children and what they might wear while she was filming Gossip Girl. The quote says, "I hope to have a few girls one day. If not girls, they better be, because I have some amazing shoes and bags that need to be appreciated." Later in another video, she repeated the word. You read the gossip magazines and everybody is dating everyone. Everyone hates everyone. Everybody's had tons of plastic surgery and we're actually men, and it's just like you don't listen to the rumors.
What is the next
What does
5
that
years
mean?
of...
Goodness gracious. At the Boone Hall plantation in South Carolina, which housed 9 worker huts during the owning of people, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds tied the knot in 2012. In an Instagram post from 2020, Blake and Ryan expressed their regret about the plantation wedding. They wrote, "We're ashamed that in the past we've allowed ourselves to be uninformed about how deeply rooted systematic unrest is. We want to educate ourselves about other people's experiences and talk to our kids about everything, all of it, especially our own complicity." It turns out that Blake Lively has been making statements in interviews for years, in between all of the terrible It Ends With Us interviews. Journalist Kirsty Flaw shared the 8-year-old footage from when she interviewed Blake, admitting sitting down with Blake Lively and her co-star Parker Posey for Cafe Society in 2016 is the most uncomfortable interview situation I have ever experienced. Is it not okay to congratulate someone on their pregnancy or to ask another woman about costumes she's wearing in the film? When Kirsty tries to ask polite questions and make good comments to the two in the nightmare interview footage, Blake brusquely rejects her. She congratulates Blake Lively on her pregnancy, saying, "Congrats on your little bump." Then, even though Flaw isn't pregnant, Blake Lively responds to the journalist with the same remark. Just super passive aggressive. During an interview about It Ends With Us, the host asked Blake Lively how people might approach her regarding the film's delicate and deeply personal topics. He inquired, "Most of us who are lucky enough to run into a celebrity in public get only a few brief moments to maybe speak to you guys. But for people who see this movie, who relate to the topics of this movie on a deeply personal level, they're really going to want to talk to you. This movie is going to affect people and they're going to want to tell you about their lives. So if someone understands the themes of this movie, they come across you in public and they want to talk to you, what's the best way for them to talk to you about this?" She then joked about releasing her phone number to fans rather than taking the topic seriously, wondering why she wouldn't just location share at that point. In response, she said, "That's like asking for my address or my phone number, location share. I could just location share you and then we could just," before she started trailing off while laughing. She continues, "I'm a Virgo, so every time I'm like, are we talking logistics, emotionally?" Regarding her interview, one Reddit user shared their comments, writing, "What the heck is wrong with her? This is just willful ignorance and lack of self-awareness from a fully grown woman. Is she even aware of what the movie is promoting? Does she know what it's about? The cognitive dissonance is off the charts at this point." She reduced the valid question the interviewer asked her to a flippant joke. "I genuinely feel bad for her co-star, and you can clearly see he is uncomfortable, but since they've all thrown in their lot with Blake and her annoying husband, they're stuck with this mess. I honestly appreciate Justin for being the only person to address and tackle the DV themes on this press tour." In light of some recent remarks people have been making about Blake Lively, it's no surprise that she isn't exactly loved right now. Let's look at some celebs that can't stand Blake Lively. Leighton Meester. When Gossip Girl debuted in 2007, everyone was curious to know if Blake Lively and Leighton Meester were real-life friends. On the show, Serena van der Woodsen and Blair Waldorf played friends who became enemies.
"When's the party?" "Saturday. And you're kinda not invited."
But in real life, it said that they quickly moved from the friends to the opponent's role. According to a number of sources, including one of the show's creators, Lively and Meester did not get along during filming. The two actresses avoid each other, according to one source, a New York Magazine article from 2008, as Gossip Girl was about to premiere its second season. The publication also discussed a Daily News article that alluded to the relationship between the two actors, implying that one of them thought the other was taking her place as the show's lead role. A Harper's Bazaar article also said that Meester thought Lively was overly conceited. In 2017, Joshua Safran, one of the show's executive producers, provided some confirmation of the narrative. In an interview with Vanity Fair, Safran shared, "Blake and Leighton were not friends. They were friendly, but they were not friends like Serena and Blair," citing personality differences as the primary reason. It's safe to assume that Meester is not a fan of Lively because the two of them were never spotted together again in the years after Gossip Girl ended. Scarlett Johansson. Ryan Reynolds was formerly married to the Avengers actress Scarlett Johansson. He's the father of Blake Lively's 4 children. After dating for a year, Reynolds and Johansson tied the knot in September 2008, but ironically, they separated after just 2 years. Reynolds and Lively began dating in 2011, the same year their divorce was finalized. Remarkably, Lively and Reynolds came together on the Green Lantern set prior to Reynolds' formal divorce from Johansson. Action.
Okay, so at the party, how did you make that
which sparked gossip of a possible infidelity. Despite the fact that Johansson and Reynolds both attributed their divorce to their work schedules, there were rumors that Johansson felt Lively was to blame for the outcome of her marriage. Scarlett feels like Blake actually stole Ryan from her because it was when he started filming Green Lantern with Blake in 2010 that everything fell apart, a source confirmed to the National Enquirer. Furthermore, in 2011, a source disclosed to Us Weekly that Johansson held stuff against Lively for impeding her attempt to make amends with Reynolds. The claimed story was never publicly recognized by any of the persons involved. However, Johansson did confess that she could relate to her Marriage Story character who gets cheated on. The actor said in a Vanity Fair interview that I had some kind of shared experience with the character or with any person going through a divorce, really. Johansson is definitely not a fan of Lively, even though the rumored love triangle is probably never going to be addressed. Armie Hammer. Armie Hammer, another Gossip Girl cast member who played Serena van der Woodson's short-lived romantic interest in season 2, publicly disclosed his unsatisfactory experience as a cast member, pointing specifically to Blake Lively. When Hammer was asked in 2017 on Watch What Happens Live after show who the biggest diva on the set was, he was first hesitant to respond. But he did, with support from comic Chelsea Handler and host Andy Cohen, remark, "Let me just say, that was a tough show to film. And I didn't end up actually filming all of the episodes I was supposed to because it was such a tough filming." Additionally, he made an implication that someone on the set wanted him to be fired from the show. Handler joked that Lively might have been the cause of the issue after reminding Cohen that he was Lively's possible beau in the few episodes he did film. "No, that's not what I'm saying," Hammer answered. But he also made a very telling look, as if he were suggesting the exact opposite. Furthermore, it has been reported by Domois, a well-known Instagram gossip account, that Hammer called Lively a B-word in front of a ton of people while she was filming Gossip Girl. Anna Kendrick. It's also said that Anna Kendrick, who acted alongside Blake Lively in the 2018 film A Simple Favor, doesn't like her. Even though the women portrayed themselves as rivals on screen, their discomfort during interviews seemed funny at first. But as time went on, it began to appear as though Kendrick could indeed have some bad sentiments toward Lively. The actors related an incident in which Lively was unusually late for filming and Kendrick was left waiting without being told of the change in schedule during an interview with BuzzFeed. Kendrick said, "That was the day I decided that she didn't want to work with her anymore," which sparked an awkward exchange in which Lively clumsily attempted to defend her tardiness. "We were all talking about you," Kendrick later told her. During an interview with MTV News, Kendrick urged Kirsty Flaw not to approach Lively, implying that she had muted Lively on Instagram.
"I've muted some people. There's a couple people that I have muted."
Kendrick also physically distanced herself from Lively. Though it's possible that Kendrick's peculiar sense of humor was used to promote A Simple Favor, a TikTok page called Celebrity Memoir Book Club, which posts celebrity rumors, asserted that the story of the feuding women was real. An insider who was employed by the movie's production company at the time claimed a video uploaded to the account that Kendrick was too competitive and couldn't stand it when Lively got all the limelight.
Blake Lively snapped at a reporter for no reason. Critics have a lot to say right now about Blake Lively as they feel that a lot of her behavior is not right.
"Hi, I'm Blake Lively." Oh, this is interesting.
Since she's the new target, they are now digging up old videos from years ago, and one of them happens to be a video of her snapping on a reporter for asking about her relationship. When she was on Gossip Girl, there was a rumor that she was dating Penn Badgley. While sitting down with New York Magazine for a 2008 feature on the teen drama, Blake discussed her upcoming movie, The Private Lives of Pippa Lee, when she filmed a smooching scene with Alan Arkin. She said, "He's a little bit of an upgrade from Chase Crawford and Penn Badgley, so I'm looking forward to that." The comment prompted journalists Jessica Pressler and Chris Rovzar to ask Blake about her real-life relationship with Penn, who played her on-screen love interest, Dan Humphrey. She snapped back, "I thought this was New York Magazine. I thought you were supposed to be classy." I'm sure her response was maybe because she didn't feel comfortable discussing the relationship, or maybe she wasn't ready for it to be out in the public. Blake's past interviews have been resurfaced in light of the drama surrounding her and the It Ends With Us co-star Justin Baldoni, which started with Blake using the film's press tour to plug her new drink brand and hair care brand instead of discussing the film's heavy theme. Another take that people are bringing up is that she did a great job of acting in the film. Why is it her responsibility to talk about it? We have no idea what her past experiences are, what she's been through, or maybe she's gone through something and doesn't feel like comfortable talking about it. People have also said she's just an actor, she's not an activist. People shouldn't have to talk about things they don't feel comfortable discussing. When it comes to Justin Baldoni, he also has some stuff under critique, with sources claiming he did things that didn't sit well with Blake. He allegedly asked an on-set trainer a question about his co-star before filming a scene that he had to lift her up, reported by TMZ, because he previously injured his back and he wanted to be careful. Blake, who gave birth to her fourth child with husband Ryan Reynolds just a few months before production began, later found out about the actor's alleged comment and felt bothered by it, the outlet's sources said. The report also claimed that the castmates had it out over a smooching scene that Blake thought lasted too long. Neither Justin or Blake has addressed the headlines, but the internet has gone ahead and brought to light the commentary. Fans are also calling out Blake for using the T word in numerous interviews. It's a word used to describe people who have transitioned. Blake was caught using this word, which of course didn't sit well with a lot of people.
Tons of plastic surgery and we're actually men and trannies. I mean, it's just like...
In another conversation, a journalist congratulated Blake on her then recently announced second pregnancy and resulting bump, to which she wildly clapped back, "Congrats on your little bump."
Congrats on your little bump.
The reporter later said Blake's behavior made her want to quit her job and also revealed she was infertile. "To be honest, it hurts because I obviously wasn't pregnant and I could never get pregnant," she told the Daily Mail. So to me, the comment did not sit well. Blake Lively has a new label of being a mean girl. I'm going to take you through what people are saying as some of the reasons she was being labeled as a mean girl.
It is disturbing, and I want to warn you, it is the truth.
I'm saying flowers.
Here are the reasons why Blake Lively is a mean girl according to critics. Amid reports of stuff happening between It Ends With Us co-stars Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, recent footage making the rounds has the internet comparing Blake to Mean Girls character Regina George. After receiving a friendship bracelet from a reporter while walking the red carpet at the film's London premiere on August 8th, 2024, the Gossip Girl has been called out for responding with what many people perceive to be as a backhanded remark. She said, "Oh my god, thank you so much, that's so sweet," accepting the pink and white bracelet as seen in a TikTok posted by a French entertainment site. She then said, "I'm gonna put it in here because it doesn't go with my outfit, but I will wear it later."
I'm gonna put it here because it doesn't go with my outfit, but I will wear it later.
I'm gonna take you through some of the comments people made in regards to this. Many users pointed out that the gift did, in fact, go very well with Blake's look. A silver gown with pink floral embellishments and a red feathered coat. One comment with over 9,000 likes said the way it actually fits her whole outfit. Another comment wrote, "Regina George vibes," seemingly referencing a famous scene from Mean Girls in which Regina compliments a girl's skirt, then turns to her friend and says something different. "How were we fooled for so long?" asked a third user in response to the clip. Come on though, should she really have to wear a gift just because someone gave it to her? What do you guys think? Recent press interviews for It Ends With Us have also had the internet reconsidering Blake's public persona and calling her tone deaf when it comes to discussing the film. The press tour has continued to make headlines as Justin, also the film's director, has often done press alone, while Blake has regularly posed for photos and given interviews with her co-stars. The discourse reached new heights when the journalist Kirsty Flaw released a clip from her 2016 interview with Blake, which she titled "The Blake Lively Interview That Made Me Want to Quit My Job." Flaw started off the interview by congratulating Blake, who was pregnant at the time. She said, "Congrats on your little bump," to Blake, who then responded with, "Congratulations on your little bump."
Congrats on your little bump.
Speaking with Mail Online, Flaw said Lively's comment did not sit well as she was dealing with the fact that she can't have children. Later in the interview, Blake reprimanded Flaw for asking a question about clothes. Commentators described the response as hypocritical, as Blake seemed enthused to discuss fashion on her current press tour. In one interview, Blake asked how fans who understand the theme of this movie could talk to her about it. She gave a seemingly sarcastic response. "Are you asking for like my address or my phone number, my location share? I could just location share with you," she said, laughing.
Address or my phone number or like my location share?
Brett Cooper made a comment on this asking, "Why did you think that was the correct way to respond to that question?"
The relationship between Ryan Reynolds and his wifey Blake Lively may not be as perfect as it may seem. Let's check out the biggest red flags in their relationship. These are the biggest red flags in Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' relationship.
Everything I do is to make her laugh, so thank you.
They were seeing people right before dating each other. In a discussion with fellow actors Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes, and Will Arnett, the hosts of the podcast Smartless revealed that Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's romance blossomed while they were out on separate dates. "We were friends and buddies, and about a year and a half later we went on a double date, but we were dating separate people," Ryan told the podcast co-hosts. "I was just begging her to sleep with me," he revealed. Although the two celebrities had always kind have kept in touch since working together on the Green Lantern film, their romance quickly blossomed. Next thing you know, she was going to Boston, I was going to Boston, and I said, well, I'll ride with you. We got on the train and we rode together, Reynolds shared on the podcast, adding that the development from casual friends to a romantic relationship was something out of a fairy tale. Although there's nothing wrong with this tale of the couple's unusual first date, some people find it strange since they were both recently unmarried. In addition to dating separate people, Lively and Leonardo DiCaprio had recently called it quits, and Reynolds had recently separated from Scarlett Johansson, who had allegedly accused Reynolds of cheating. On the same day that Lively was sighted in Boston with Reynolds, word broke about Lively's breakup. It's feasible that the two engaged in covert, low-key, soft cheating, regardless of the veracity of the cheating accusations. They got married just 11 months after they started dating. After their brief romantic encounter in Boston in October 2011, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's fleeting attraction turned into something more substantial. Reynolds acknowledged, as he did on the Smartless podcast, that a week later I was like, we should buy a house together, and we did. It's one thing for them to live together shortly after courting, assuming their short vacation to Boston counts, but it's quite another to be married a year later. Nobody is certain when Reynolds proposed, with one of the priciest celebrity engagement rings no less, but it couldn't have happened too soon because in December 2011, Reynolds invited Blake to visit his parents in Vancouver, Canada. On September 9th, 2012 in South Carolina, the two actors tied the knot in a covert ceremony. Ryan Reynolds might want a stay-at-home wife. Every celebrity couple has to learn how to balance their personal obligations with their acting schedules. The Hollywood lifestyle is hectic, and while it offers certain benefits, it often means long absences from home and work schedules. Thank goodness Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively have advanced to a position in their careers where they can select the roles they want to play. As a result, every movie they work on turns into a sort of passion project rather than just a job. In 2020, Lively said to E! News in response to a question about prerequisites for taking on a new project, I guess I really have to really love it because I just love my kids. Lively must have been completely enamored with The Age of Adeline since the movie was filmed while she was expecting her first child. Blake and Ryan's career rivalry is something worth mentioning, a source told Radar in 2015. Ryan would like a wife who stays at home, but that's not Blake. Naturally, if Lively shares this desire, there's nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home mother. For the time being, this appears to be the case. I've always wanted a big family, Blake Lively said to Allure in 2012. Oh, I'd love 30 if I could. Still, kids grow up too fast. Lively's life goals could change, which would impact their dynamic. The couple's move from full-time performers to co-parents was not without its challenges, and it is unlikely that it will become any easier as their family grows. Ryan makes decisions without his wife's consultation. When Ryan Reynolds and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia Rob McElhenney purchased a portion of Wales's Wrexham football team in 2020, well, everyone was taken aback. Blake Lively, his wife, was completely taken aback by this, as she was not involved in the $2.5 million transaction. I remember seeing Blake and saying, I have bad news and I have really bad news. The bad news is I slipped into someone's DMs again. Ryan told McElhenney on Jimmy Kimmel, referencing the way he struck up a friendship with McElhenney. The really bad news is that I might have bought half of a 5th-tier National Football League in Wales. Ryan described his wife's response to him as not good. He continued, we're still working through that one. Though it's perfectly acceptable for couples to make independent decisions and exclude their partners from all aspects of their lives, there is something to be said for those who don't feel the need to let their partners know about big life decisions and financial investments. If you're in a committed marriage, not consulting your spouse before making potentially life-changing decisions shows a lack of regard for one another. Making significant decisions together is one of the indicators that your partnership is healthy. This is especially important if you have several kids and share a home. Even if Reynolds' purchase appears humorous to others, it still betrays a lack of communication and regard for his life partner. Their fame could be detrimental to their kids. Although becoming a well-known Hollywood actor sounds wonderful, the real world is far less glamorous. Because of the continual observation and lack of privacy, it is not for everyone. Therefore, a married couple with 4 children faces unique obstacles when raising their children in the spotlight. Although Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have done a good job of keeping their children out of the spotlight, they fight to maintain their children's privacy, which is probably a source of discussion at home. For example, Lively used Instagram in 2021 to criticize newspapers for publishing pictures of their young children. Lively said, "This is so disturbing," in response to a post that Hollywood star Kids has since removed via Grazia. "I've personally shared with you that these men follow and talk to my children, and you are still posting. You said you would stop. You personally promised me. This is not casual appreciation. This is you also exploiting very young children. Please delete, please. Some parents are okay with this. We are not."